Rupert, my Swedish travel companion. If we were meant to stay in one place, we'd have roots instead of feet. Rachel Wolchin. September 2018. I stood in the parking lot watching Jim load the last of his boxes into his car. He decided to move back to Auckland and consolidate his life into one city. I invited him to join us in the communal kitchen for one last dinner before his move. As Emily and I were nearing the end of our time in Wellington, I decided to take a road trip around the South Island before we left the country. Since Jim was knowledgeable about cars, I asked for his help in finding a good second-hand car on TradeMe, an online auction website in New Zealand. Walking toward the kitchen, the scent of Emily's cooking greeted us. She was preparing her favorite Asian dish with a blend of ginger, garlic, and soy sauce, along with Japanese wine, which she called her secret ingredient. "This smells absolutely divine, Emily," Jim exclaimed. "Wait till you taste it. Sit down. It's ready," she commanded us with a smile, and we obeyed. Jim's eyes widened as he took his first bite. "You've really outdone yourself this time," he said. Emily's face lit up and her cheeks flushed with pride. "Thank you, Jim. I've been practicing a lot lately." "And I have been loving it," I interjected. Emily rolled her eyes. "You eat so much, Mama. You love everything I make." "That's the truth. Everything Emily cooks is delicious," I declared proudly. Jim's eyes twinkled with mischief, and he glanced at me with a familiar grin that always preceded his playful teasing. "Well, Emily, it's official. You're definitely the normal one around here." A laugh bubbled up from my chest, but it came out a little too sharp to pass as carefree. The words, though meant in jest, pricked at something deeper within me. "And what does that make me, Jim?" I asked, my voice light but carrying an undercurrent of vulnerability. "Oh, you know," he winked, his voice warm with affection. "Just not normal, but in the best possible way." I forced a smile, the muscles in my cheeks tightening with the effort. "Well, I guess it takes someone special to be not normal, right?" "Absolutely," Jim chuckled, raising his glass in a mock toast. "You're one of a kind, my friend." "And we wouldn't have it any other way," Emily added, with a tone of sincerity. The room fell silent for a moment, filled only with the gentle clink of utensils against plates and the distant hum of the city outside our window. I felt a lingering sting from the not normal comment, but also an overwhelming sense of impending change. "Come on," I said, my voice a touch too bright as I stood up, impatient to shift the topic. "Let's look for that car now. It's our last chance since you're leaving tomorrow." Jim pulled out his phone and started browsing the listings on TradeMe. "Are you sure you want to do this trip?" he asked casually, his tone more curious than concerned. I took a deep breath, the scent of our dinner still drifting in the air. "Yes, I need to," I replied. "I'm a bit concerned about driving alone. What if I break down in the middle of nowhere or I get lost? Even worse, I get lost and then I break down. Since I've heard it's beautiful down there, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if I didn't go and see it." Jim chuckled, shaking his head over my over-the-top concerns. "Makes sense. Let's find you a reliable car then." We scrolled through the listings until a particular one caught his eye, a green Volvo station wagon. "This one looks solid," Jim said, examining the details closely. "And look at all the space, perfect for your gear, and maybe even a makeshift bed if you need one." "I love it. It's perfect," I agreed. "I think I'll name it Rupert. Doesn't it look just like an old man in corduroy pants?" Jim's laughter filled the room. "Rupert it is then. Sounds like he'll make an excellent travel companion." After a moment of thought, Jim glanced at me. "Tell you what, I'll meet you in Auckland for the car pickup next week. Make it easier for you." His offer brought an unexpected feeling of relief, and I nodded with gratitude. "Thanks, Jim. I'd really appreciate that." Somehow, he always found a way to soften the sting of his teasing remarks. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind of preparation and goodbyes. I made trips to the Salvation Army with my shopping cart full of accumulated possessions, which felt like shedding layers of skin, painful yet oddly freeing. Clothes, blankets, kitchenware, each item carried remembrances of our time in New Zealand, and I hoped my cherished items would find new homes and new stories. The departure day arrived on the day before my 49th birthday in December. We were preparing to leave our room on Willis Street, and I watched Emily carefully fold her belongings. The finality of our departure struck me with full force. "Emily," I began, my voice tentative, "are you absolutely sure you don't want to stay here and attend the Cordon Bleu cooking school in Wellington instead?" The words hung in the air between us. Her response was immediate and resolute. "No, Mama, we're not staying in New Zealand. I'm going to culinary school in France." Her gaze met mine, unwavering and clear, a simple but effective end to any potential argument. "But," I could hear how my voice sounded small until Emily cut me off with, "Mama." Okay, I managed to say. I quickly grabbed a box and headed to the car. I didn't like arguing with Emily. Since I wasn't able to protect her from her brother's bullying and her father's indifference, I wanted her to feel that she wasn't alone and I was on her team. When the room was finally empty, we stood in the doorway. I looked around, taking in the spots that marked our life here. The space where we once danced, the window where I chatted with the residents below, and the small kitchen corner where I often made quick meals. Each space reminded me of the 3 years we had spent there. "It's the end of an era," I said quietly as I closed the door. We walked downstairs together. At the gate, I turned to Emily. "Are you sure you'll be okay here?" I asked her. She nodded. "I'll be fine. I want to stay with my friend's family and keep working at the crepe shop." I gave her a hug and watched her walk through the gate one last time. My chest felt tight, but I knew it was time to go. I got in my car and drove through Wellington, noticing the green hills, the harbor, and the mix of old and new buildings, knowing another phase of my life was ending. I tried to take it all in. At the ferry dock, I joined the line of cars waiting to board. The air smelled of salt, seaweed, and diesel. Saying goodbye was hard, but I felt ready to focus on what was next. Once I was on the ferry, I made my way to the front of the boat. I wanted to face the journey head on. I stood behind the protective glass, sheltered from the strong winds, but with a view of the open sea ahead. As the ferry pulled away from the dock, I could feel the gentle vibrations of the engines beneath my feet, and Wellington coastline slowly faded away behind me. An hour and a half later, after crossing the Cook Strait, which lies in between the North and the South Islands of New Zealand, the Marlborough Sounds came into view. This was a maze of deep blue waterways, secluded bays, and forested hills. Jagged peninsulas and hidden coves dotted the landscape. The rugged terrain exuded a tranquil beauty that seemed to shift and evolve as we drew nearer. During the crossing, I finally heeded Jim's advice and recorded my first Tai Chi travel video. I planned to document my experiences as part of a Tai Chi travel log and share it on social media. I took this time to reflect on the 3 years we'd spent in New Zealand and all that I had learned. 3 hours later, when the ferry docked in Picton, I was ready for the experiences that awaited me on the road ahead.